give it a sec for everybody to pop in, and we will fucking get talking about this alignment on the car and exactly what the fucking title means because of all the who, what, where, when, why, and how, and we'll fucking work on the car. Cool. So give me just a minute here, and basically I'll give you the information that you need before we start working. So just be like one of the classes I do for like tuning or private classes or education I do with my clients. So we'll do it the exact same way. Basically, I'm going to give you information on when to use this and how to use it, because this is a solve-all sometimes it's not. The issues you'll run into, why you're going to want to do this, and how to know if you'll need to do this. And I think it's a good thing for people to know, because I build a lot of like cut and gut Hondas, and my buddies are always slapping the cars together, this, that, the other. A lot of times you go to the alignment shop, and first of all, they'll used to be back in the day, which we don't run the cars so low anymore, but they'd be like, oh, car's too low. And that's just some of them, just the ramp angle, steep, whatever, not a big deal. But if you have a OEM Honda that's lowered, or was lowered and raised it or whatever, you don't have a camber kit, you don't have anything adjustable as far as caster or anything, you only have toe adjustable. And unless you have extreme camber or excessive camber, you're probably not really going to get much camber wear. And even at low degrees, you can get camber wear depending on the toe settings and your Ackerman steering angle and stuff. Like if you have bump steer, stuff like that, as far as the geometry, the wheels actually go through moving with the rack and everything during turning, and that would change your tire wear. The camber on certain cars that have really good Ackerman and this and that can wear out tires a little more on the inner edge with less camber, versus a car that has less Ackerman and doesn't want to do that. So the toe alignment change through steering, that's something that's proprietary to your car. That's just the way that car is, and you can change it. But for most of what everybody's going to be doing, for what you guys are going to run into, for what's going to be actually going on, this is probably going to be for like 90% of people. So this should help you, and this should save you some money, because if the rack's too low or too high for your car to get on, or they give you issues, or say you have like shot bushings or ball joints or something, and you're like, man, this thing's eating tires, I just want to fix it so I can drive it, and you're like, I probably wouldn't even have got an alignment unless I have to. This can actually get you through that, because after you do this, you'll be able to drive the car, not wear the tires, and everything will work right. This really does solve that issue, because you don't have a camber kit, you can't adjust the caster, and you really don't need to. The toe is generally the only thing, besides like shot bushings and the wheels moving around, or like blown strut and wheel hop. You hit the brakes, you start to get that hop, you get a hop in the tire, it starts hopping while you're driving, shit like that, those types of things. Toe's pretty much the only thing that you're going to deal with. Worn out tie rods, the wheel walking while it's in one direction, that could cause the tire to wear, or if it's just pushing against it because it's riding to one side and you're adjusting that ball joint. I used to go to the dealership, or to a shop, to get a toe alignment on something that's that far gone that you're like, hey, I'm just like putting this thing to work and throwing a couple used tires on it, I just don't want them to go out every week type shit. This should solve that. All the way to, hey, I threw a camber kit on, I threw all the suspension stuff on, I need to adjust it, this, that. You can do it at home. So let's say you had an upper camber kit, you could use like an angle finder or whatever, and you can get your camber, and as long as it's even on both sides and it's between a certain area, you ain't gonna have no problems. The toe, again, is mainly gonna be the tire wear issue. So what we're gonna do is I am going to basically tell you next, let's see here. The way to tell how your tire is wearing, you'll get feathering, which means if you go across the tire, looking across the plane of it, you'll see that one edge of it has like a tail up, and it'll be at an angle. So one edge of the tread will be smooth, and the other edge will have like a little lip of rubber at the back. It's called feathering. That is generally from the toe alignment being off. Hopping would cause a different type of wear. Bushings and stuff can do stuff like that too. But the feathering is definitely going to be toe being off. Now, shot bushings allowing everything to relax or move, and taking your toe off. So what you're going to want to do is, if you say we built a drag car and put all this front end stuff on it, this, that, the other, and we got an alignment originally. So pretty much same thing as your car came from a dealership where you got a car and you threw like a camber kit and some coilovers on it and changed the height. So we take this drag car and we change the height, change the wheels, we got to change the preload on the springs, a little height, whatever. Well, the toe's different. So we're all pretty much in the same boat, right? Camber's pretty close, you're good. If it needs a little adjustment, that's a separate thing. But we need to get the tires not to where we need to get the car to drive straight, because that's the other issue. I guess right before I show you this right now, let me explain. You can tell this was real well thought out. If you drive with zero toe, so both wheels are completely forward, straight, it can possibly quite want to wander a little bit, feel real light in the front end, steering be a little dodgy. Now, if front wheels are toed out, so the front of the tire, the toe, is out from each other, the left one's pointed out, the front one of the right is pointed out, that is going to cause it to be really dodgy and really light steering on input and want to dive into a corner. But in the corner, you're going to have less steering angle, so you're going to have to put more steering input. And you're also not going to be able to have technically as much traction, but I don't think it's really that. I think it's the Ackerman changes, so the steering angle input changes, but that actually changes how much of the tire at what suspension position is touching the ground. So it's a completely different thing. But regardless, when you go through the corner and exit, it's not going to want to hold the corner. It's going to want to leave the corner. It's going to have a lack of traction. It's going to understeer more, or feel more dodgy towards the outside. It's going to want to dive outward. If it's towed in slightly or excessively, it's going to want to drive straight. But they also could, if it's over excessive, could want to fight each other, and that can push you left or right. Almost similar to toe out, but it'll feel stable and then twitchy, and stable and twitchy. So that's over towed in. Now, if you're over towed in or over towed out or zero, you're probably like, okay, well, zero's probably the best, right? So that's probably what you're thinking. Well, what it is you want a little bit of straight line stability, good cornering, this, that. Towed in is going to be real straight line stable, this, that. It's going to enter the corner decent, but it's going to be in the corner and handle the corner and exit very well. It's going to have ultimate traction. So we generally, from OEM to the point of which we see tire wear and that drastic change in this and that, is about a 1/16 of an inch on either side excessive, or over. So an 1/8 inch nominally is going to give you wear. They generally want, I believe the toe in is roughly a 1/16 of an inch total, and that's like at most. And that's also like a minimum thing. They don't really want any more than that. They don't really want any less. And that's going to make the car drive stable, and it's going to keep it from wanting to lane switch or glide and kind of get light and kind of drive straight, but be very easy to lane change and stuff. You know what I mean? They want the car to want to straighten itself out if you let go of the steering wheel to keep itself straight. So both wheels are slightly pointed in, which is 1/16 of an inch. So we're going to take a tape measure. I'm going to show you how to do this. All right, so I actually have to adjust the toe, but I'm not done adjusting the suspension on my car. And we've been driving it. It's not really eating the tires at all, but it is a little far off. There is a little tire wear from it, not bad. But you could imagine if you have just a little too much toe, you'll eat a set of tires up in like a day. It's kind of crazy. I'll flip the camera on. I'm going to show you guys what I'm doing, all right? So at the point of paying the alignment shop, at the point of you can't go to the alignment shop because you got shot bushings, whatever. At that point, you might be stuck at the house to do a toe alignment on your vehicle. Well, we just talked about toe in, toe out, and zero toe about how it acts. We talked about how most you want towed in is about a 1/16 of an inch. So if you're over towed in an 1/8, like a total of an 1/8 of an inch, you're going to start getting a little tire wear. It still drive good. Any more than that, they're going to get kind of dodgy. You're going to find it being stable, and at higher speeds kind of twitchy. towed out excessively or even a little is going to make it want to lane switch easier, dive into a corner easier, but have less stability in the corner and holding the corner and exiting. So technically, I think all stock manufacturers, they want the car to drive straight. When you let off the wheel, they don't want it dodgy. They want a little pressure on the steering so it's not too light. I think pretty much all of them are about a 16th in at most and at minimum. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to the tire. You're going to take a tape measure. You're going to go to the tire in the front, and you're going to measure from the front tire, so the front of the front tires, from one side to the other, and then you're going to go to the back side of the front tires and measure from one to the other. Those numbers you want equal, and you also want them to be 1/16 of an inch off. You want to be a 1/16 of an inch tighter in the front than you are the rear. Now I know mine's off. I'm going to check it real quick and I'm going to tell you what I find. I'm not going to adjust it right now, which that's just a steering rod a tie rod adjustment, which a crescent wrench, a decent sized crescent wrench, or the right wrench for that nut, I believe it's a 17, unless it's not an OEM Honda one, and then a pair of channel locks to turn the arm if it's like greasy or you can't grab it or you can't twist it or whatever works. You can do it with the car on the ground. You steer the car to completely one side and you can do the tie rod. That way you can straighten it out, back it up, pull it forward, settle the suspension, and check it again. When you jack it up, you unsettle the suspension. You have to drive around a little bit to get it settled before you check the alignment. So you're going to go from the same spot on the front end to the tire to the other side on the other tire in the front. You can go to the same spot. In the back, you're going to go to that spot to the other spot. You measure those. The difference is your toe. So we're going to check it right now, and I'm going to tell you what I find. All right, so we're gonna feed the tape measure through. Hey, baby, you want to come help me? You want to grab a tape measure?
Yep, got it.
All right, Harley's done this with me before, so she's gonna hold it on that side. So, all right, so get it on the tire in one of your spots. Go lower.
Lower.
Lower, lower, lower. Make sure you guys aren't touching the subframe or anything. Go higher. You want to go as high as you can on the tire without touching anything. Go a little lower. Right there. All right. We got 63 and get level. Yeah. 63 and what is that? 363. 1. Fuck. Where's that thing? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 3/15ths? I don't even think that's a fucking thing. We're going. The third mark after the 63. All right. Now, I told you guys this is off. I'm not showing much tire wear. I am showing a little, but we need to finish the suspension height adjustment before we finally set it, you know? So I'm going to show you guys this. I'll tell you what you would need to do. You want a total of a 1/16 in at most. All right, you're good. All right. So we are towed in at 63 and the fourth mark. So let it go. So we are actually right on the edge of tire wear. So in the back, my car is, what is it, 63 point, and I hate the SA, the third mark, but that is, let me count this and I'll tell you. So you want a total of a 16th before you start showing tire wear. 1/8 will feel about 16th before you start showing tire wear. At an 1/8, you're going to start showing a little tire wear. It's going to feel about the same. Over that, you're going to start getting more and more extreme tire wear as you go in. We are, and I knew it needed to be adjusted since it was at stock height. It was whatever. Those are, so that's 1/8. So it's 1/8 to 3/16. Yeah. Right? It's 1/5. No. What's the other one? What's under 1/8? 1/10? No. 1/12. Anyways, we are within 1/8. I'm all whatever. So we are within an 1/8. We're actually like right over an 1/8. Let me see. It's 0.125. Under 1/8. Oh no, it's weed. I told Harley how much weed weighs. I think it's, yeah, I get it. It's industry standard eighth, but it's weed. That's what I needed. How do I understand this? Oh, there it is. God, I feel stupid. A 16th. Right. Yeah. I feel like this tape measure just looks funny at the other one. It's a quarter. Oh yeah, so 3/16, right? Oh, 3/16 is on the other side, so it's 1/16. Okay, so we are 1/16 out of toe, possibly closer to an eighth. We have very little tire wear from the toe being off. Now, I was saying I had a little wear from that. Basically, we've been spinning the tires because it's turbo, and it's an automatic, so it shouldn't be. But before I put the turbo kit on it, I noticed a little bit of wear. I am going to double check after we level the suspension and everything, but basically, the tire wear I was seeing, because they were new tires, we were like hitting corners and hitting it. The auto was spinning them a little bit, just like doing dumb stuff, going through water puddles and hitting it and stuff. That's probably what it was. There's no feathering, and since we put the turbo kit on, we've actually been beating on them and spinning them. It might not have liked that tire temperature because I was driving it nice, and it actually is more of a cornering performance tire. It's still an all season, but it's like, you know what I mean. It's got less of a tread wear and this and that, blah, 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 than the rear and their brother tires. So that one, I think actually at the higher heat, the rubber stays together better. I feel like it wears when we don't beat on the car, if that makes sense. Or it should say, it wears the same. You drive it normal, you hit a corner, you spin it a little bit, you know, you kind of act, you know, a little here and there with no turbo kit is the same as doing a couple poles and spinning them at the top of first and through second. So that might have just been me thing and the weight of the car and me being used to the Civic because it's lighter and they're all cut and gutted. So I know this is a lot of rambling. I know this is a lot of BS, but I do hope this helps you. I would make this into a video, but I just cannot see myself shooting this and then editing it and being like, oh yeah, so many people are going to get shit out of this and this and that and the other. I'm trying to help somebody. If you need it, cool. If not, whatever. But the title of the video should give you all the information you need to know if you need to watch the fucking video. So DIY alignment, mainly toe, these front wheel drive cars, take a tape measure front to back, adjust your tie rod. Good to go. We just checked it. We're an 8th out or a 16th out. I believe, or a 16th towed in. And I don't believe that tire wear was, it wasn't anything major. It was slight wear, but I really don't think it's anything more than, you know, just the tire breaking in. And the fact it is lowered, it does have a little bit of camber. I mean, it's actually really dumped in the front, probably has a little more than a little camber. It's probably not like 2 degrees, it's probably like 4. The toe changed when I dropped it. Now, I haven't checked the suspension through the path of going from like a higher ride height and down and see what the toe change is, but I always assumed it would toe in more. So I might have been kind of fucking myself when I saw a little bit of tire wear. That kit literally could just been the camber, because it didn't have camber before. Now it does. These are literally brand new tires. It had to get that little bit of edge wear because the way the tire is sitting. I could have kind of preemptively like decided they were wearing without them even really showing. But I will say, we've been beating on them for a few weeks. Before that, we had them for a few months. With the turbo kit, we spin them every day. At least it's a decent amount. We do a good amount of pulls, 10, 12, 15 pulls a day. A few days during the week, we do drive it normal. But they are at like 70% right now, 75%. So they're not bad. They're like a 300 or 400 tread wear. It's the Forcium Hennas in the rear and the Forcium Hexa R in the front. Really good for about $70. If you guys are wanting to get something a little closer to like a Neogen, they don't really make those anymore. But Federals, they're a little more pricey. Azenes, you got your R888s. But as a tire choice input, I've really been looking at some of the grassroots drift tires, the lower tread wear stuff that they're saying sticky. There's the Accelera like 651 or Accelera 651 Extra. They're like $100, $130, come in some good sizes. But there's also the Shapiro GT and some of the other Shapiro tires. So you have to look into that if you're looking for some good cheap daily stuff. We're going to be doing a lot of roll race hard tire stuff. Probably end up on like some R888s or something, or some M&H or M&T radials. But for now, we'll probably be at the level of like the Azeni, this, that. I do want to drive the car. I do want to drive the car, not destroy the tires and worry about them wearing and stuff. The car is heavier. Although we're making it lighter, I'm not gutting it or anything. And we'll see where Ghost ends up. I'm going to get started on all the fab work for the day and start showing you guys what I'm doing to Ghost. But when it's done, that's what I'm excited to show. I really don't know how much you're going to see through the process, but this thing's about to go from just a dope daily to a clean-ass dope daily, just with, I don't know, looking sexy my way. So I will see you guys later, and I'll post some videos later. And yep, I'll talk to you in a bit.